Hey guys, welcome to Off the Reservation, a podcast where time is relevant and the past is now. And you're listening to us talk. I'm Mal.
I'm El.
And I'm the son of Picasso.
So, as you guys can see, today's recording is a little different just for the fact that we're on Zoom and we're just zooming away. Been zooming and zooming and zooming. But yeah, so I mean, I guess, to address the fact that we're all on Zoom, I mean, we all kind of got hit with the allergy mixture, and the weather been in Albuquerque's been a little wild and crazy, and all the trees are trying to propagate themselves and be fruitful and multiply, and my body just can't handle it.
It's
can't handle that tree love.
It's too much for me. Yeah.
Benadryl season, man.
Yeah, for real. And so
I got real sick this week, so I was like, oh man, and then people's kids got sick, and it was just kind of like hey, let's try something different and let's not all meet together in a little room.
I mean, you never know. I don't know. This so far, it's been looking good. I mean, we may end up going into maybe recording like this more often. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this opens the door for having guests too. You know what I mean? That can't be with us, So it's like, definitely new possibilities. So thank you guys for coming with us on this journey, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And so I think we kind of were going to talk about today, go into our topic of the fact is that we've done 13 episodes so far.
Yeah, this will be episode 14.
This is going to be episode 14. We've got more episodes than, are we competing with Star Wars? How many episodes does Star Wars have? I'm asking random questions that we weren't prepared for.
We're talking about the Skywalker saga. Is that because there's 9 of those, but if you count all of the side movies, then it might be more like 12 or 13. Yeah.
We're competing with Star Wars.
I guess so.
That's what it is.
But I think we're already a leg up because those last 3, that trilogy was a little iffy. So.
See, I keep hearing everyone bashing the last ones, and I'm like, dude, it's got lightsabers in it. How can you go wrong?
And see, my issue is I feel like that was the rationale behind them making it. They're like, let's just, it doesn't matter what the story is. It's got lightsabers. It's going to be fine. And then, then the story just kind of fell flat. They were like, oh, maybe the lightsabers weren't the only thing that people liked about Star Wars,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely opened up a lot of questions as to what the Force is and who can handle the Force and who can't have the Force. And
you could tell there was a struggle, a creative struggle. And it was like there was 2 parents, you know what I mean? And one parent was like, oh, you can have all the sweets you want. And the other parent was like, nope, we got to have rules to this. And then they took that parent away and they brought a different the other parent back, and they're like, nope, we're going to have all the sweets again. Let's do it. So it's just it was back and forth. It was man, it's just feels so, it's weird. It just feels so mismatched, I think, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I mean, going back to our topic, revisiting some of our episodes. I mean, Star Wars was my favorite series growing up. I mean, I ran around in my sweatpants with the belt and had the lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah. How many of those extendable lightsabers did you have as a kid? Things were so cool.
I'm pretty sure I had at least probably around 10 of them, but that's because I just fought too hard and you'd end up breaking them.
Yeah. Well, you had to have the ones that were retractable. You know what I mean? Those were the cool ones, Plus, and then I hated getting the knockoff ones. I liked getting the official brand Star Wars stuff, and it's it was actually Luke's lightsaber or something, and the actual the handle and everything was pretty spot on. And instead of getting like those like dollar store ones, where it's like a flashlight, it's like an actual just like flashlight handle with like like the movie theater ushers used to have,
Yeah.
Look like a parking attendant.
Yeah.
You just stole your dad's.
Yeah.
Well, Son of Picasso, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember when we were kids, dad used to get those little flashlights, the little skinny ones, and we used to pretend those were lightsabers and try to fight one another. I mean,
yeah,
like the amount of imagination you have to have in order to use like a small flashlight. And like it was so cool because they came in those little, like they had the little pouch, like the little holster for it, for like you to be able to slide it in your belt and carry it around like it's like a knife sheath or something. It just like was perfect. It just, I needed it to be more powerful so I could cut things in half. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Star Wars was a big thing, but I mean, along the same lines, like, do you like? I feel like on the same lines as like things being important in our childhood. Like, do you remember how important the Beatles were for us, like growing up?
Like, yeah, it was like just I don't know. I don't want to say borderline obsession, but it was like one of those things where you wanted to know everything about each one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you watched how they play the guitar, and you wanted to mimic how they played the guitar. You wanted to mimic how they played the drums. And even the creative process was just amazing. Because right around that time, like I remember it was like right when the first Beatles anthology came out, and they had like the box set, and it was like some ridiculous price because it was like when CDs were like the rage. And I remember saving up and like buying that and just like thinking, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But yeah, Beatles were pretty dope.
I mean, it's kind of neat that they had that documentary that came out last year, and that was so cool to see them all kind of interacting behind the scenes, because they stopped performing, pretty early in their career, so it was like,
well, he was like 29. Was it George Harrison was like 29 when he left or something like that?
Yeah.
I think like my favorite part of that documentary was seeing John Lennon get out of the Rolls Royce, and like he's wearing like that fur coat, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's like where I want to be as an artist. You know what I mean? I wanted to show up to art shows in a Rolls Royce, just like, but still be 100% real with who I am. You know what I mean? Like,
it was so you want to be like a Jim Carrey?
No.
Dude, you know what I'd like to do? I mean, like on that level, would just be able to like show up in like a loincloth and be like, yeah, I'm here, man. This is me. This is a loincloth. And people would be like, whoa, what are you wearing? I'd be like, dude, I'm just me. I'm just trying to be me.
Oh, buckskin.
But I mean, like, I'll say, so we have been listening. So like, I don't know, like our last episode, we talked about our favorite episode podcasts, and Elle had brought up the fact that like he's been listening to the Always Sunny podcast, and that's the companion to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and like they had an episode where they talked about the Beatles, and they were like, well, which one would you be? And I guess like I think that's our question. That's the question I want to pose is like, which one do you think we would be? Like, Son of Picasso, who do you think I would be?
I think you'd be George.
George.
George Harrison. Right. Yeah.
I think we all got a little George in us.
Because you're dependable,
I guess. Dependable. I don't know. L's like the linchpin in all of this, because honestly, if we didn't have L, like we wouldn't have the Zoom call, we wouldn't have any of the visuals, the
all the editing.
Yeah. He's everything else.
What was that engineer dude, the Fred? Magic Alex is his name or something like that. Do you remember that guy? They're like, yeah, he knows how to rig together. He was like making all kinds of like weird inventions for them and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that I'll be that dude. He puts together, like he tries to build their studio that they're gonna record at, and then they like move in to get there, and it's like, no, this isn't gonna work. This is horrible. Let's get the expensive stuff. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It's like this is our like fourth attempt at like a Zoom call to make everything work between like networks cutting out and
what? No, this isn't our fourth attempt. This is the attempt.
Hey man, we're being real here, man.
It's been real. It's been perfect.
One take, Jake.
But yeah, I mean, probably, I don't know, Paul. What do you think? Okay, look. The fact is, I didn't.
I'd like Paul, but I'm not gonna say that. Oh man, it says my internet connection's unstable.
Yeah, we're all a little unstable sometimes.
Anyways,
I mean, our people have survived genocide. We can are allowed to be unstable.
we can get through this little bit of unstable bandwidth.
Yeah. We'll do it with jokes like we're doing.
Oh man.
But okay, so I still actually haven't fully watched the documentary. Like I tried to, and it was like Thanksgiving.
It's long. I get it. I spaced out on some of it, but
I mean, like I got to the part where they had like the what was it, the guru, and the guru was just like sitting in the corner like praying and meditating or something like that, and everyone was like, who's that guy with? And it's like, oh, that's John's dude. He brought him in.
Oh yeah.
And it was like,
I think it was George's friend
or George's. I'm like, how like pretentious do you got to be like, oh, I'm going to go to work, but I need my emotional support guru to come in.
See,
with
that's
me.
why I think it's so dope. Like John Lennon was showing up to work in a Rolls Royce and like wearing the same clothes he was wearing the day before. I mean, that's just so like rock star. You know what I mean? Like,
well, dude, the owner of my company shows up in a Bentley Jeep or a Mercedes Jeep, and I'm like, that's cool, dude. I got a Nissan Versa, like a 2014 Nissan Versa,
I don't know. I'll keep my opinion to myself about the owner of that business.
I mean, he's all right. He's a good guy. I mean, like, I've been hit by a forklift. Had a knife thrown at me and a few other things, bad stuff that's happened to me in that warehouse. But I mean, for the most part, the entire company is taking care of me.
Yeah.
They've done right by me. I just, the times we live on, I just wish we got paid a little bit more. But,
yeah.
Even before the pandemic and even before everything else, we were all hoping that we'd get paid more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's talk about our podcast.
I thought that's where we were going. I mean, I was just like revisiting some of our topics. I mean, like our older topics.
I was doing the same thing, kind of pull. Well, I was
trying to keep me from getting fired.
I was looking at episode 1 and thinking back to the first time we started. That was like that felt like so long ago, right? I think we were filmed that in December, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we released it at the beginning of the year, but man, that was like total new experience altogether of just like we didn't know what we were doing. We were figuring it out, which is cool. It's like, hey, that's how you learn, right? But like it's kind of neat going back and watching the video, just seeing like how we started things off, it was like, yeah, it was.
Dude, I still love your story about like going to your friend's house and have them having the in-ground basketball hoop, and their parents just kind of getting annoyed that you guys were there so often. It's like I still don't get over like how can you have the funnest house in like your entire your friend group, and
I don't know, man. It's just, he didn't have family here. I don't think. I don't like it's. I feel like it's different. Like when you have a big family, like extended family, when you have cousins and you have like aunts and uncles, and you're used to getting together in larger groups of people and having people over at your house, like hosting people, like, it's different, because I've been to people's houses, friends' houses that like they have extended families and they're like parents are always like gracious hosts, you know what I mean? But like, like the friend that I had back in the day, like I don't think he had any family here. It was just him, his sister, and his parents. And so it was like, they weren't used to having people over at their house and like, or at least, having other kids running around, I don't think. So
yeah.
I don't blame them. I'd probably get annoyed if like, these two, like three, 4 kids used to come to, my house every day after school and raid my fridge of Gatorades and
drink my drink.
Yeah. And so like, I don't blame them, but anyways, whatever. They were a good family. It was a funny story about that friend. Me and my other friend, we lived in the neighborhood, or not lived, but we like were from the neighborhood over, and so there was like the nice neighborhood where my friend with the hoop had. He lived in the nice neighborhood, and then down below like is where it wasn't as nice, and then the friend that I had that lived down there, he lived a little lower, and that neighborhood was really not good. But like we used to like I kind of on the lines of, I think we had mentioned like the Bart Simpson's always playing pranks and stuff. Like we used to play a prank where we would call a pizza in to be delivered to the friend's house, the rich friend's house. And so we would call a pizza, we'd give them the address, and 30 minutes later, I guess, pizza showed up. And he's like,
oh my gosh.
So you're like, hey, dude, did you guys get a pizza? He's like, yeah. Wait, how did you know that? we were like, oh, we called it in, man. And he was like, are you serious? He's like, my parents were so upset. He's like, but I was like, well, did you guys eat the pizza? He was like, yeah, we paid for it and we had dinner. So we did it again the next week. And he was like, yeah, my parents know that it's one of my friends. Yeah. He's like, my parents know it's one of my friends. You guys need to stop. They're getting so mad.
Oh my gosh.
So we went for the third week in a row. And he was like, yeah. He's like, my dad is so mad. He's like, I didn't tell him who it was though, but like, you guys need to stop. Like, my dad is pissed. I was like, all right, maybe we'll stop. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't know. It's just stupid stuff.
What kind of pizza was it?
Yeah, who is it? I'm gonna call them and order a pizza for them.
Unfortunately, they're not. Do you remember JJs Pizza?
Yeah,
they were by the middle school we used to go to, and they used to sell pizzas at the middle school. Like they had them in the little snack bar. They were like one of my favorite pizzas at the time, and yeah. So and then it changed to like Easy Street Pizza or something, and now I think it's like a Pizza 9. So yeah.
That's funny.
But don't do that, listeners. Don't do that. Don't be a menace like that. That's just, that's ridiculous.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least pay for it first.
Yeah.
What's
like
crazy is
Grubhub.
I have a cool college hack that me and my friends used to do in college when I went to OU. We would call in to the Papa John's and order like a pickup order for 3 pizzas, and then not go pick them up, and then go over like an hour later and just be like, hey, do you guys have any pizza you guys want to get rid of? And literally they would give it to you because they're just going to throw it away, right?
Yeah.
And one of my friends taught me this trick, right? So like we would go in and like be like, hey, do you guys have any pizzas you want to get rid of? And they would literally just give you all the pizzas that, you know, that were old that they were about to throw away.
Gosh.
Yeah. And like it worked like 9 times out of 10, it worked. That was a good college hack.
Hey, this was supposed to be pepperoni and all the, I mean, it's fine. Thanks. We'll take this.
Hey guys, thanks for listening today. This is the Son of Picasso. I just want to thank you guys for sticking around. Remember to review, subscribe, and check us out on Instagram, Off the Reservation Podcast. And we'll see you guys next week.
I see, that's the thing, is like I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I had that in me to be able to like lie in that way. It's just like I get too sweaty, too anxious, my back starts to hurt, I start sweating. I mean, we never did the polygraph thing for me, but I mean, yeah, I can't.
Well, it's good. It's good, you know, you don't.
But no, like, I mean, like people ask me like honest questions and I'm like, oh man, I should lie about this. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey Mal, why are you all like sore and messed up and like anxious and everything? I'm like, no, nothing. It's cool. I can't. I can't.
Well, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you guys think of well, what was some of your guys' favorite episodes we've done so far? Favorite topics?
Oh, geez.
I personally, I like movies a lot, so I liked being able to talk about different movies. We did a little bit of I try to do a little bit more of a focus on like native centric movies, you know. But I feel like there's like a big list of just like random movies that I love, like, and for various different reasons, you know what I mean? And I thought that was kind of a cool topic. I feel like that's a topic we could come back to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they're always coming out with new movies all the time. And then, I mean, like, what was it? You know, here's the thing is like, I've been going back and watching like older movies, like The Omen and what was the other one I watched? The Warriors, just before the fact that like that iconic line where that guy's sitting in his car like clinking the bottles together going,
yeah,
Warriors come out and play. And I don't know, I just like I like that imagery. I like that whole setup. And I mean, I feel like it's iconic, but at the same time, like the filming techniques during their time were just like so rudimentary compared to like, I mean, you can CGI like Michael Jackson into your video if you wanted to. Like, you know, they're doing that kind of a thing nowadays. But like back then it was probably like some dude holding like a 30-pound camera on his shoulder trying to pan it while, you know, people are running or something like that. Or like they mounted the camera onto their car and you can see like the bumps in the road like happening. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I got into with the older movies, like even Road Warrior with Mel Gibson, like the prequels to the Mad Max.
Yeah.
And like
it was like a real art form in cinematography, you know, and how they were able to capture those angles with it without gimbals, you know what I mean? Without, you know, things like modern technology is really cool.
I love seeing like behind the scenes, like of older films, you know, how they get different shots, but also like even like how they use technology today in like films today, you know what I mean? To like did you guys see that new that 1919
the 1918 yeah 1918
yeah, did
or
you guys see that one?
1890 or something like that?
No, it was First World War, so it was like 1918 or 1912. I forget.
1920.
I don't know.
It was a long time ago.
I don't know. First World War. yeah. But like it was I thought that was like a really cool idea to make it the whole movie, because they made the whole movie feel like it was one take. And you were following this guy over a period of like a day, you know what I mean? And like, and it was so intense, you know what I mean? Like, and I just like, I was amazed at like the technology they used to like, because they tried to use like minimal, like they tried to find natural ways to cut the scenes together, you know what I mean? And so it
Yeah.
was really cool just to see like, they would like pan the camera over like a hill, and then then they would bring it back over, to cut the next scene. So it was kind of cool to see like where they stitched the scenes together, but I was like, that's so like so creative, you know what I mean? Like that they would like, because you've seen like in like certain films where they do like a long take, and it's like everybody's got to be, it's all like one take. Actors all have to know exactly what they have to say, where the camera's going to be. It's like, I think of like the intro to Serenity. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Where it's like through the ship, and it's just like the
Yeah.
camera goes, it's like I don't forget how long of a scene it is, but it's forever. And then you realize, oh, this was all one take, and it's like he's going through the whole ship, talking to everybody, having a conversation, and it's so neat. But it was cool. I thought the movie was really cool because they did it all. They were able to make it look like it was all one shot, which was like, wow,
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible.
Oh my gosh, have you ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, where they do the behind the scenes where like Leonardo DiCaprio's character is trying to memorize the lines where he's in the Western bar.
Oh yeah.
And like that scene is just so cool because you see like the thought process of him trying to remember his lines.
Yeah.
You see how like the camera like goes and swivels around and like pans around. You're like, wow, this is, you know what I mean? You're so enveloped in every word that his character is saying.
I think there's something like magical about a movie set. Like if you've ever been on a movie set, like how hectic and crazy, but like the excitement and the energy of like watching something be created and then being able to see it later, the final product, it's really really neat. And so like movies like that movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like it's so cool to see like them like making the scenes and making those movies, like there's just a fascination. Like I love when you see like a movie being made, watching a movie about a movie being made, it's just like it's really cool. It's just because like I love all that stuff. It's fun, it's a good time.
Well, you know what, like movies like that, like that make me feel like I feel like I had the origins of that was like the martial arts movies. Like if you think of like any Jackie Chan movie and how like his pants never rip in all of his scenes, and like the fact that like he can do like 5-10 takes of him jumping across from a building to another building and into the doorway or into the window of a doorway, and yet he jumps across, and they'll do like 10 takes of him just jumping across. And, you get to see those kinds of things. But I think the most iconic, like one shot scene that I've ever seen is this movie. I think it was done in Indonesia. It's called The Protector. And actually, Son of Picasso, I believe you had the video and I got to actually see it. But it's called The Protector, and it's stars Tony Jaa. And basically they have this scene where he's doing Muay Thai and he's just like intensely like fighting his way up this big spiral building, and he's like kicking people off the railings, over the railings. He's jumping into people with his knees, like smashing people into all kinds of other stuff, like as he's fighting, and you follow him the entire way, like following up in a one take scene as he's like throwing guys off and throwing them through walls and breaking legs and arms and collarbones. It's crazy. I remember like just watching that movie just for that scene over and over again because it's so intense, so cool. I wish I took a martial arts.
I haven't seen that movie in such a long time.
Yeah, and it's all over an elephant, dude. Like, how cool.
Yeah. Don't mess with a man's elephant.
Don't mess with a man's elephant.
Well, hey man, Jackie Chan's pants were like the beginning of our paranormal encounters episode.
That was
Kicked us off with our first conspiracy about him.
You know, I was thinking back to it and how we had the paranormal episode, and I feel like we totally missed out on not having Dave in on that episode, because I remember him telling me some intense like paranormal stories. I mean, that guy's been everywhere, and I remember he like told us about like some skinwalker encounters he had, and
Ooh.
like Bigfoot encounters, that kind of a thing. So I mean, I know I want to get him in again and maybe do another episode on paranormal stuff.
Oh my gosh, have you guys heard about the Skinwalker Ranch? I know we talked a little bit about it, but have you guys actually watched the docu-series about it?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's a trip, especially like, being native. You're just like, you're seeing these Anglo people out there and you're just like, oh my God, it's gonna get them. It's gonna get them.
Well, Son of Picasso, I had a question, because we do a lot of recording. Our main studio is around you, and the fact that we all talked about skinwalkers. Typically, the saying is you don't talk about skinwalkers, because if you talk about it, it'll bring that kind of evil into your life. I don't know. Have you guys experienced anything? Has anything happened? You guys notice any developments? Is that happening to you?
It actually, after the episode, I noticed a few things around the house get a little weird, light being left on, things misplaced. Like if you've been to our house, our house is completely like fortified with cameras. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And look into the cameras, you're like, there's no earthly reason why this should be here and not be there. And I have noticed that it may have lifted the veil for that. So
it got a little spooky in the neighborhood.
It did get a little spooky. Yeah, it did. I remember calling and like telling you guys, hey guys, it's a little trippy.
El, did you experience anything after that episode?
Well, I had an experience with what I thought was like, I don't know, the best thing I could think was a werewolf, and shot at it,
Yeah.
But by the time I got back to it, it turned back into my neighbor's dog. So a little office humor. No, that was a Dwight Schrute.
Is your neighbor?
Yeah.
Is your neighbor John Wick? Because I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, no. No, I haven't noticed anything. And maybe that's just I don't know, what is the blissful ignorance of just like, if I don't think about it and I don't like look for it, then I guess I won't notice it, so I mean, yeah.
The
But
light just
also
flickers.
I was like one of the only ones of us that didn't have like a real like experience with skinwalkers previously, so who knows, maybe they're sparing me.
So I was actually waiting to talk to you guys, like see you in person, or like till our next recording, which is I guess today. But like was it a couple, like not this Friday, last Friday, like I had gone to Lowe's because I was planning on doing some work, and I was working on a knife and I had to go pick up some materials and go to Lowe's. And that day I had just like talked about, one of my coworkers was like, hey, you have a podcast, and I told him about it, and you told him about our paranormal episode, and we were talking about skinwalkers and things like that. So that Friday after work I go to Lowe's, and one of the employees like stops me and is like, hey, do you need any help finding anything? And I'm standing there and I'm like, normally like my anxiety like builds up, like, oh, I don't like talking to people, and I was gonna like be like, no, I'm good, and like run away. But like I stopped and I was like, man, I need to put on my grown-up pants, and like,
I need help. I need help finding something.
Man, I got a child, I got a wife, I can talk to somebody and have a meaningful conversation. And so I stop and I go, actually, I am looking for, and then all of a sudden, like as those words leave my mouth, 2 Sanders from like a top shelf in Lowe's fall and hit me in the head. Well, 3 of them fall off the shelf. One of them completely misses me. The other one of them hits me in the side of the head, and the other one hits me in the back.
Jeez.
And she's like, the employee, she's freaking out, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm trying to get a copy of the security video, but apparently quite a few people over at the Lowe's had seen it, and they were like, I have no reason, like no explanation for like how those things fell off. Like nobody was around. It was completely like
There
the
wasn't
employee,
like anybody stalking anything, or putting something on the other side or something.
No, it was up against the wall, which is the craziest thing. And so I've had issues with cats before. Like cats tried to kill me. And I think it might have been the ghost of a cat that tried to kill me that day. So, they're getting close.
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, so
that's crazy.
I mean, paranormal.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I was just like, what? Sanders fell from the sky? Like,
yeah,
man.
Oh, and I'm like busted up, like my neck hurts and my head hurt for a good while, but like I got to the urgent care, and they were like, "No, you're good. You just have like a small concussion." So, but I'm doing good now, mostly. Doing all right.
Yeah, good. Oh, I'm glad you're okay, man.
You're gonna get some of that Lowe's money.
No, I just need more materials for knife making, dude.
just throw in those 2 Sanders that hit me.
Throw in those 2 Sanders, we won't have a problem.
But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we could keep going on and on. Like I mean, after that paranormal, I think like our biggest episode that was huge was the mass graves episode. And I mean, T and I, my wife and I, we went to go visit the grounds, and we got to see them, and there's a tree that had been planted there, and it's grown. It's a big what is it,
pine tree.
A big pine tree. And it's kind of interesting because that big pine tree almost seems like it's become the grave marker for this mass grave. Because I guess in 2019 they had a bronze plaque set up in the ground, and you can still see where it was. Like it's still, the cement is still there. And just people who've gone to pay their respects have kind of deemed that tree as the grave marker. But the fact is that, like, if you think about it, any Anglo person's grave site, like Gettysburg, anywhere there's been a mass grave, like all these places, they've cordoned it off. They put up like good, beautiful fencing, and to keep people off these hollowed grounds, these sacred grounds. But all they have there is like an orange construction fencing.
Yeah, mesh.
And it's basically, there's no sign, like official sign sitting up there, and there's only like a sign that people have like created and put up there. And I kind of felt like, like after our big conversation with Dave, saying that like there needs to, like, if we're going to start a movement, we have to, like, this could be a movement, and we need to like think about like where we want this movement to end, what our goals are. And I think, that might be something we might want to get into, is seeing if we can get this place,
something permanent put up.
Something permanent for these people who lost their lives during a tumultuous time in our nation's history.
I think with a lot of these issues, a lot of it starts with getting together and collaborating with people, you know, having the right people on your team, so to speak,
Yeah.
of like people who know, right, like what it would take to get something like that done. Because honestly, I don't think it would be that hard to get it
No.
done. But the what's needed is the right people to know which avenues to go through to get it done. What sort of permits and legalities we have to get done. But and then we, like you said, we even had people that were offering to contribute to creating this, so it just takes some organization, and like you said, someone with a vision, or people with a vision and a plan,
Yeah.
and it's something that's totally doable, but yeah.
Yeah, and I totally feel like this may be something that we might look into. I mean, you know, I feel like it's the least we could do, and there's so many avenues that we could take into um getting this set up. And not only, I mean, like, I feel like this tree has taken its place as the marker, and you totally
Oh
feel
yeah,
that.
because me and my family went down to pay our respects, and around this tree you're talking about, there's a mound of children's toys, basketballs, stuffed animals, toys. I mean, just a mound of them just put underneath there. And you could tell they've been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
And that's a way of people trying to work through their trauma that their families they went through. Even just being native and not having a family member who's went there, it's traumatic to know that, holy shit, our people were hunted to the brink of extinction, and then once that brink happened, they came after our kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have trauma from it. You feel it, and so it's a part of that closure that we were talking about, that our people need, that not even our people need, but white people need this too, because their ancestors inflicted this upon us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And could you imagine living with that white guilt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be, I mean, I feel guilty if I get after my kids after a few hours. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have, got after you. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, it's okay, Dad. But you get my point though, right? Like it I think that it would help a lot of people move past, that point in America's history.
Yeah. And I think that's been the thing that has been interesting, because we do have a Facebook page, and with posting the images, like, I can tell that a lot of people didn't listen to our episode on it, and there was a lot of people who seemed like they may have seen the pictures, seen our write up on it, and then just jumped in there and were like, I don't need to know more. I just need to know that I need to help. I need to be involved in this in some way. And that alone was inspiring. But I mean, like, I feel like if they were to listen to the episode, they would understand, they would learn more, they would be more educated. And I think that's really what that episode was about, is trying to learn to educate yourself about this topic, because it wasn't just locally to Albuquerque, it's all across the nation. And I never even thought about it until Dave brought it up and said, some places had more than one Indian school. And even myself, like, I mean, I've gone down in that area. Like, one of my friends, she had gone to Job Corp, and that's like right in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Going to they have the Pueblo Cultural Center over there. And I mean, that's a wonderful place, but I never knew that, like, just not even barely a mile away, there was a mass grave, and that this place, like this Indian school, had been built on this land so
Yeah.
close.
I mean, it's definitely something that, as we are going through and talking about all our episodes, it's something that we definitely need to follow up on and revisit. And it's part of a larger discussion, I think, for sure, and I don't know. I hope that our listeners appreciated that, the ones who did listen to the podcast. And, we'd love to talk more about it, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
and so,
guys. Oh, I was gonna say we're
nearing the end.
Yeah,
So
we're near the end of this episode, guys. But yeah, we just wanted to take a chance. We feel pretty proud of ourselves to have made it through 13 episodes. This is number 14, so we just kind of wanted to take a chance since we didn't have the chance to meet together and kind of discuss and go over. So hey, if you guys have a favorite episode that you guys liked, let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram, and we'd love to hear about it.
And as always, remember to rate, review, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And check us out at _podcast.
Yeah, and we'll be back with a new episode next week. Hopefully we'll all be together and everybody's gonna be feeling good. So yeah.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thanks, guys.
You guys have a good week.
Bye.